Welcome to the live stream. Little delay there. I was trying to get my chat on the air to work, and it looks like it's ready to go. So let's just say hi tonight. Let's see, chat on the air. So welcome. Thank you for joining me on the live stream. Please say hi in the chat and let us know where you are from tonight. That would be awesome. Early in tonight, let me see if I can get it here. We have Hank in the house. Welcome. Also DJ Ware. That seems to be it right now. But I'm sure more will join us as we get rolling here. We have lots to do tonight, so we're not going to spend too much time spinning our wheels. Also, I had a comment in the notes from last week's live stream, and I didn't recognize the person, but they said, I stopped and took a breath for you. So tonight, I'm going to try to relax and enjoy the stream. Let me know if the audio is 5 on 5, okay, and if the video is in sync. And let's back this camera up just a little bit. Hit record, and we are rocking. So got record going. I'm on the air. Got all the way up to 7 megabytes a second. I'm doing low latency, so maybe it takes a little bit more beef, or that was all that action as I reached into the camera. So cool. 5x5, it looks like. Thank you for that update, Hank. And it's good to see you tonight, Tony. Thank you for joining me. Greetings, he says, everyone. It's great to have you in the chat, and hopefully more people will join us. We have lots to do. I have a whole bunch of stuff behind me. I have lots of things going on here in the studio. Wanted to chat just a little bit about that tonight. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Again, let us know where you're from. I think a lot of you guys know each other and know where you're from, but as more people pop in the chat, and if you're watching this live and you can't chat, I have subscribe only chat on tonight, so you can subscribe. And then if you don't like the content, you don't enjoy the live stream, as this is your first time here and you want to chat with us, you're welcome to do that. You just need to subscribe, and about 1 minute after that, you'll be able to chat as well. I have provided videos and links in the description tonight. I have some Amazon associate links. I don't talk a lot about it, but that does help support the channel. I am making a shift. I just made some changes in my business model, and I'm going to be doing less RV type photography for now and focusing more on local business as well as my consulting business. So if you do use the links in the description below, we do get some money back from Amazon. It's an associate program, but you pay the same. So if you use any of the links for some of the products we're going to look at tonight, then I appreciate it. Thank you for that. It's just little bits. I think occasionally I get a coupon and I use that to buy other stuff or offset some of the stuff I'm getting. I'm going to be doing videos on just about everything that you've seen last week and this week. Obviously, I will not do a video on each speaker because I have 3 monitors right now, and I'm going to be unboxing one of the 15-inch Yamahas tonight, and we're also going to be looking at the digital Stagebox by PreSonus that goes with the Studio Live 32SC board. But before we get into unboxings, I wanted to jump into one topic tonight. Let me just see. I don't have my phone out tonight, so I think I'm up to date in the chat. We'll see if anybody else drops in. I do want to talk about one thing here tonight, so let's bring this up. There's been a new product announcement, so let's pop this up, and that is the new Wireless Pro. Shout out to Freddie, who's normally here with us live. I don't see him in the chat yet tonight, but he sent me a link to a video. It is in the description below, and Rode has come out with a new wireless kit. This is called the Wireless Pro, and I just want to hit some features. I haven't ordered one. I don't have any of the Rode Wireless Go or any of the wireless products. I do have my DJI mic kit. I have one on tonight that I will be using tonight in the stream. So I do have this kit, but now it comes with a charger. And there's some interesting things about this new Wireless Pro. We're going to cover them right now. Let's just go through this. So a couple things stood out to me. You got 32-bit float recording. It has time code built into it. So no longer do you have to buy an expensive time code device. This will do time code. It also sends a file to each of the receivers, and it will put the time code in there as well. So not only will it send time code to your device, your camera, whatever you're recording to, it also has the ability with 32-bit float recording to get a backup that you don't have to worry about having peaking and all that, because you'll have the ability to back things up. Let me just say hi real quick. Doug, it's good. Let's see, chat on the air. I saw you pop in. It is good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I'll try to continue to say hi as people pop in. So we're talking really quickly about the Wireless Pro. I want to try to stay up to date when anything new comes out. Thank you again, Freddie Ponce, who sent me a link to this early in the week. Actually, I think it was Monday or Sunday afternoon. Maybe you already saw the video, but again, Rode has really been adding a lot of products this year. I'm sure they are working on this device before NAB, but obviously it's just now being announced as we go into fall. And that's not uncommon for products to come out in August, September, October. We've seen Black Magic Design, I believe, has done that in the past, and other big name manufacturers. So again, the next couple of weeks, we're going to be focusing on studio production as well, with music production, as well as live venue production, and we're going to be unboxing some stuff. But again, having this kit could be a good little system for you if you want to do run and gun interviews, you want to do a vlog with your camera facing you. You could have the Wireless Pro on you. Now you have time code, 32-bit float recording. So let's go down through here and talk about some other features. Here is all the connections you can see right here on the screen, and you can go to this page. I have copied this page in the description tonight. But I just want to go through here. So you can turn on your Wireless Pro on the bottom, and you can see right here, this Wireless Pro comes with everything that you need to record broadcast-grade wireless audio, including a smart charging case, pairing lavalier microphones, windshield, magnetic clips, and all the necessary cables to plug in your device. The system itself consists of a pair of transmitters and a single receiver. So you have two transmitters, very similar to the DJI mic kit and other mic kits that are out there. Obviously now lots of people are making this. There's even some regular Amazon knockoffs if you want to try one of those. But again, Rode's been making microphones for a long time, recording microphones, live venue microphones. So well known, kind of been around for a while, like Shure. And so you can't really go wrong typically with a Rode device, even though they are breaking new ground with live streaming devices now. So go on, it says the lavalier mic, which can be connected via 3.5 input. The audio is transmitted to the receiver unit, which connects to your camera, smartphone, computer, or other recording device, either via USB or its 3.5 output. So again, you could plug this into channel 2. You could have a mic like this one in channel 1 of your A10 Mini Extreme. Obviously, you have to adapt it down. I'm coming out of the Rode Caster Pro 2, and then 2 1/4-inch jacks right and left, which would normally go to monitors in your studio. And then if you then take that down, right and left mono to a 3.5 stereo jack, and there's some great HOSA cables, some knockoff cables available out there as well on Amazon. So if you check those out, then you can go from your Rodecaster Pro into mic input number 1 in your Extreme ISO or your A10 Mini Pro ISO, whatever you have. And then that gives you 1 channel audio, and then you could plug the receiver into the other channel, because each of the Rode or the A10s come with 2 inputs in the back. So I have my lav mic from DJI receiver plugged into channel 2, and we'll be using that when we unbox. So it's really similar now that it has a charging case. 40 hours of recording, that's huge. So it's got great flexibility, and they really have gone to the next level with this microphone. Information on the display, information on the pairing, the charging case right there, battery level indicators right there on the front, so you can see how your batteries are doing for all 3 devices, and that is on the receiver. And then there's your clips in the back. There's the 3.5 jack, has a ability to screw it in, and that would be for a microphone in one of the transmitters. So you could use the onboard mic, or you could use the a regular lav mic. Let's go up here, and I believe this new transmitter, if we were to see the other side, yeah, see, it does have a the transmitter is right there, and then the receiver is right here. And what I don't see in this unit is a microphone. So I don't see a microphone for that. So you do have a, oh yeah, actually I think you do. Number 7 says routing mode selector, USB-C 3.5. I do not see in the transmitter there. Where is the receiver? Let's keep going down here. Pairing, wireless, battery charging, battery indicator level. Okay, so somewhere here we should have some information about the receiver. So you can use windscreens with it, obviously. So this gives you a little bit of information about the audio. So you could do it in stereo, you could do it in mono. If you had 2 people on a interview, you could have each one mono, right and left, or you could just record in stereo. Gain indication on the front. I'm going to keep going down here. You can select different camera models. And I want to get down here to time code. Here's the onboard 32-bit recording. Both the Wireless Pro's transmitter features a onboard recording function. Each is capable of recording over 40 hours at 32-bit float audio form. The built-in microphone or any external mic connected to the 3.5 input. That means that if your wireless signal momentarily drops out or your camera audio clips, you'll always have a clean backup audio available. And again, that's huge with 32-bit float recording. So do some research. You can learn more about that. Here it is. What is 32-bit float recording? The Wireless Pro transmitter captures their onboard recordings in 32-bit float file format. Audio files with 32-bit float bit depth are able to represent a very wide range of volume levels without the issues that are typical associated with very loud recordings or quiet audio. Your recording will not distort or clip when capturing loud sounds, even if it goes above 0 dB. So if you know anything about digital, if you go above 0 dB, you get horrible clipping, where if this was an analog device, you can go over 0 dB, and we would call that beautiful, right? So if you're old school like me and you have an amplifier, you want to go over the 0 dB range, and that's where things begin to break up, and you have that beautiful sound, distorting sound that you get in guitars and different devices like that. But with digital, you go over 0, and typically you get a horrible result. With 32-bit float, you could actually go over 0 and not lose your recording. It's basically like super gifted peaking ability inside. So it's beyond limiting when you do that. So note, 32-bit float only applies to the Wireless Pro's onboard recordings, which means that these benefits won't apply to audio recorded onto your camera. So you'll have to record into the devices, the wireless transmitters, in order to get 32-bit float recording, and that's true with any recording device. You do not probably most likely have any cameras out there that have 32-bit float recording built in to those devices, but now you have things like the Wireless Pro that has 32-bit recording built into it. So onboard recording modes right here. Here's the wave exports and exporting on board recording using Rode Central app. So you can use the Rode Central app and then export them, very similar to what you can do with the Rodecaster Pro version 2. You can just literally, if you have your USB-C cable hooked up to your laptop, your Macintosh, your PC, you can just offload files directly from the unit. So again, time code built in, it's huge. So I did a little slide here. Let me drop it on the screen, and it just highlights some of the powerful features. So you have 32-bit float onboard recording, advanced time code sync, intelligent gain assist technology, and 40+ hours of recording. And again, it also has all the charging case, all the different devices that you're going to need to be able to hook it up are included. And you can check online for pricing. Let's just scroll down here, see if there's anything else. Information on markers, batch recording, deleting your recordings, using time code with the Wireless Pro, how time code works with the Wireless Pro. The Wireless Pro uses the SMPTE time code standard with LTC encoding, linear time code, which is the most widely used format today. The Wireless Pro receiver acts as a source in a time code setup, meaning that time code is generated by the Wireless Pro and it's received by the other synced devices such as cameras and the audio recorders. So basically, the receiver is now a time code transmitter. So it's basically sending out time code to both the cameras that can receive time code that way, as well as these devices. And Wireless Pro outputs time code information as an audio signal. If your camera accepts time code, it will record this data into your video files directly. And if you don't know why time code is really important, it gives you the ability to sync different shots. So in reality, the best use of time code, in my personal opinion, is to get, well, two things: get your lips in sync with your video, right? That's important. But also, if you're doing like 4 different cameras or 6 different cameras, and all of them have audio that needs to be synced together, then time code gives you the ability to adjust everything. And it uses the time code embedded in the file to sync everything. But you can also use like new software now in Adobe. I believe it's also available in DaVinci Resolve. And in those programs, you can sync based on the audio. So it's still important, I think, to have time code available. I don't use time code when I shoot. I just sync via the audio tracks. So I want to make sure every one of my cameras is receiving audio. Even if I'm not going to use that audio later, I'm going to use that audio to sync everything up and then throw it out, and then do all my cuts for a multi-camera video. So 32-bit float recording, time code. There's ability to enable time code inside the software. You have time code mode 1, time code mode 2, and then time code mode 3. So you can look at all of those different versions, and time code version 4 and 5. And then you have all this ability before you record. With time code, it's important to establish the frame rate you will be shooting your project at. So you want to make sure that you understand that you need to kind of do some homework and figure out what you're going to do when you're using time code. And a lot of people, like myself, really, I don't have much of any experience with time code. I did have a Panasonic HMC 150 camera that had time code built into it. So I am familiar with that, but I was typically doing one camera shoots. So the only time I did a multi-camera shoot was I had a friend, we did an event at the local Toyota Center, which is a big venue. It was a concert production for Christmas. And he had 2 cameras and I had a camera. His cameras were film and my camera was digital. And so we had to sync up everything later, and I produced a video out of that. And so we mostly use time code to sync everything up and get our audio matching up. I also recorded audio in the venue, so I'd have backup audio as well for that project. So there's a lot more that we could do to talk about the Wireless Pro, but I wasn't planning on doing this tonight. But Freddie, again, shout out to Freddie, who sent me input that this device had been released. And so I did want to talk about the Rode Wireless Pro and give you guys a little bit of information on that. Let me put chat back on the air and let's see who has joined us here. Let's see. Good to have. TVJ is in the house. Good to have you. You had a great stream last night. I did have to take a phone call. My oldest son is out of town, and we had a phone call planned. So even though I was still live, I missed part of it, and I will catch up. But go check out TVJ's live stream last night. I think that's everybody that has come in. Let me double check over here and see. Said hi to DJ Ware. I think I did say hi to you, Doug, right? So I think I did. So I've got everybody in now. Oh, there's Joe. Good to have you, Joe, tonight. Thank you so much for showing up. And then there's Freddie. Freddie is, again, the one that sent me the video on the Rode Wireless Pro. So check out, if you came late, check out tonight's stream because we just talked about the Wireless Pro. So I want to get into our unboxings tonight. Let me just look in here. Looks like Tony's chilling in a hotel room. That's cool. Thank you, Freddie. That is a cool new product. And we will be talking a little bit more about where I've been investing majority of the money that I had in my account. So, okay, let's shift gears here. So as you guys know, if you're on my live stream in the last 2 weeks, we talked about some different products. I even looked at a rig that was built that many of you guys said I should buy and build. Also, we looked at a Allen and Heath board, which is like $4,000. I really wanted to get that Allen Heath board, but as most of you know, let's do slideshow and me. I bought the Studio 32 SC, and it's on the desk behind me, and it has some really decent inputs. Let's change pictures here. So you have all these inputs on the back, and we unboxed that last week. We're going to be looking at that board closer. Next week, tonight, we're going to be unboxing a number of things. We're going to leave a couple things for next week, but we are going to be looking at this board closer. We also unboxed this speaker. This is a 12-inch Yamaha speaker. It's unique in that it has the horn in the middle of the 12-inch speaker, which means that anywhere you walk around it, it sounds amazing. I tested it in the music store and loved it compared to other monitors, both powered and not powered. And so I settled on getting 3 of these. We unboxed one last week. I still have 2 in the box. I have not opened them. And then obviously earlier tonight, we talked about the time code and the new Wireless Pro device. And it has all of these new cool features, including the fact that it has a charging case. But back to tonight, sound has been something I've done in the past. I really have done live sound when I was younger. I did a number of events. I've traveled in and did high school assemblies as a speaker. I have a friend that traveled with me. He's an incredible music artist. His name is Monty Ingersoll. He is now pastoring a church over in Kennewick, Washington, but he and I traveled years ago together, and he had a JBL system, even had a sound guy that traveled with him at a lot of the venues. We did high schools, we did giant gymnasiums, mostly indoor events. We even did a tent indoor event. So we used his speakers. He had a sub. He had, I think he was traveling with 12-inch two-way speakers as well as subs. And Scott, his friend, was the sound tech, and he did some of those venues with us. We even set those up in other venues so we could control sound even though they had speakers. And so this is back in the 80s and 90s. And then I kind of got away from live sound. Even though my son was in a band, and later in my years since 2000, I opened up a recording studio in my house. I had 2 QSC speakers that I could put on stands and take out to do some small acoustic venues to show off some of our, we kind of had a artist program in our studio. So we did artist mentoring and producer mentoring. And so a lot of the artists and a lot of the artists were producers. And so I did some showcase stages. So we did some big concerts with local artists, but then in the breaks, when we were setting up for a new band, we would do showcases. So I used my QSC speakers and borrowed a couple monitors to be able to do the little showcase stand. And I had a little Mackie board that we did the showcase stage with. Then I sold all that stuff, and I only kept a Bose system that I have in my garage. It's a line array, and but it's not really for live sound working with bands, doing recording. So I have felt recently like things are changing in the world, and I really felt like live venues in coffee shops and things like that are going to grow exponentially. I'm usually right when those things kind of build up in my heart and my mind. And so as I was processing what I felt like was coming up, I was running into venues. I ran into a venue in Natchez, Washington. We're going up tomorrow to meet with the guy who is one of the guys that built this coffee shop in downtown Natchez. It's the hustle and bustle. If you go to this small town that's on its way over the pass between Western Washington and Eastern Washington through Yakima, you're going to find this small town that's been around since the early 1900s, and yet in reality, there's not been a lot of action. There's a few little restaurants downtown, a tavern. There was a church in downtown that closed down back in the early 2012-13 range. All of the people that did that venue have passed away. The people were leader in that. So it is an empty building. It's owned by someone who's developing it as a community center. It's catty corner from this coffee shop. And so again, having some live sound equipment means that we could rent that facility, go up, do some events. I have a friend now that has access to a tent, a 3-pole big top tent. And we just used it in Benton City for an outdoor event in the elementary school back lawn. And we're going to be doing a tent event in Connell, Washington, which is north on the way to Spokane from the Tri-Cities, Spokane, Washington. So with all that said, I really felt like it was time for me to get some live sound stuff again. So before we go over and unbox, let me just get back in here in the chat. So yeah, I have used Studio One, Joe. I used Studio One a lot when I was in my recording studio. In fact, we had Pro Tools and Studio One. So I had Studio One, version 2, version 3. My current version is 4, and now Studio One is up to version 6. I had one of the original Studio Live boards. It was the 24-channel board. It did not have auto faders, and it didn't have the depth of the new StudioLive version 3 boards. And so, yes, I did use Studio One. I used the software to record. So basically, PreSonus has software that matches whatever boards you have. So if you have the 32SC, you can just turn it on, open up your laptop, open up the software, all the channels. If you have a 32-channel board, all the channels are already lit up, ready to record. All of the faders are at neutral, and you can just start recording whatever you're doing in that live venue, and then you could bring it in later and mix it down in Studio One. I also like Studio One has the ability to do mastering. So you can actually go from a regular recording file to a project file, and then the project file, you can go through the whole mastering process. So obviously, once you render your final mix down, right, then you bring that stereo wave into other software. Typically, if you're using outboard gear like compressors and EQs that are all analog, then you'd run that out. And there's other things you can do. We won't talk about that. But if you're just going to go stereo, you could run that out, adjust the compressor, adjust the equalizer, adjust whatever you wanted to run it through to get that analog sound, and then right back in and then record another wave file. But what I was doing in my studio is most of my mastering, and I did have analog gear in my studio at about $4,000 worth of analog gear. Some of it was on the preamp side. Others of it was on the mastering side. So I had a mastering EQ and I had a mastering compressor. And so those were used to add just that color that you get with analog compression. It's just different sounding than what you get usually with digital. Digital's gotten better and better and better. And so now we're like 10 years later from my studio, and I'm sure that analog plugins are getting more and more amazing, including drum replacement and all that stuff. So yes, very familiar with Studio One, even though when I opened it up yesterday and played with it for the first time in about 5 years, I was lost. But it started coming back to me like anything else. Once you get back into it, like riding a bike, it slowly comes back to you and the muscle memory comes back. So I have version 4. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to update. I can do the yearly update and get a big discount because I bought the board, but we'll see. So that's enough said about PreSonus and StudioLive. But yes, good to have you. David, thank you for joining us. Good to have all of you in the live stream tonight. So let's get unboxing. So let me do this. I'm going to turn chat off the air for a little bit. And so hold your questions for right now. I will assume if you're talking back and forth or you just want to make a comment, that's great. I will read all those before we go. But if you have a question, wait till I get back at the chair. So let me go into my control software here and enable my lab mic, and then we're just going to check the audio here before I roll out. So let me know if this audio, it looks a little hot. Let me bring it down just a bit. So let me know if that audio sounds good. Obviously, you'll need to put something in the chat if you're going to do that. Let's do here. I had a Mackie 12-channel mixer. This is from DJ Ware years and years ago. Yeah, so I have, mine's a 12 as well. It's got some XLR inputs, and then you have only 1/4-inch inputs in the back. Let's see. I saw someone else jump in here. David, I don't know if I said hi. Did I? I think I just, yeah, I did say hi. So connection issues, I'm getting repeats. Yeah, let me know if anybody else is getting repeats. Okay, so we have a echo, and I'm not sure why. Testing, check, test. I don't hear anything. Are you guys still getting double? Let me know. Might be losing some internet. I see my... I'm not sure what's going on with my internet. Not be losing signal. So hopefully we're not going to lose the stream, but I do that we are having some issues. So there may be an issue with the radio tower live stream, so it may get replaced. It's now, Mark says it might be going out. This might be a sign. Now at 91. I don't move around a lot. It doesn't bytes. So let's just for a second here. Check. Going to go back to my other mic. Hopefully you guys aren't getting doubling. But yeah, we're having a huge issue with internet. Let me grab my phone and check and see what's going on. See if we can diagnose what is happening here. Hopefully I don't lose you guys. Going to go back to this. Going into my Unify app. See what's going on here. Doing a speed test right now. Definitely not going super fast, but right now I'm getting 30 or 40 down. That's way lower than normal. And yeah, something's up because my upload speed is dancing around 8 to 9. Not good. 18. So let me send this to Mark. Sorry about the delay. Trying to figure out what's going on. It's okay right now. So I might have dinged it and boosted it, but now we're doing okay. And I've never seen 6.7. So let me know now if things are good. We might have just had an issue with the network, but I just sent it to Mark. So Mark is texting me back. I just said, I am live. He says, for you? Yes. Yes. Just ran that test. Okay. So still trying to get Mark on the channel so that we can have a conversation. He's had a bunch of other issues with some of his clients, so he's been on the road almost nonstop. So, okay. So it seems like it's okay. Maybe it was just a glitch. We put chat back on the air, clear that. Clipping when I get too loud. Okay. So we'll make an adjustment, on mic 2. Check. Check. So is this mic here clipping when I get too loud? Let me know. We'll go over to the desk here in just a second. Okay. Yeah, Q says okay. Think it's resolved. I restarted my YouTube and it seems to have fixed it. Yeah, I'm not sure it's your YouTube, David. Yeah. Issues, yeah, David. Germany, is that where I get my internet, Joe? You're funny. Hey, Akil, it's good to have you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Could be ISP issues. Maybe someone walked in front of the beam. Oh my gosh. Keith, look at your multi-view. What do you want me to see in my multi-view, Tony? So again, I have jumped in. Oh. So let me put this back on Filmic Pro. I'm sure you're talking about my wireless camera that was back there. Let me set it back up. Stand by. Let's do this. Let me know in the chat if you get double audio again. Okay. Audio is okay. That's great. Let me know if the audio is still okay. I'm on the lapel mic now. It's going to sound a little different. Let's see if we get all these cameras fired up. Let me turn that monitor around. Let me go to program view over there. And clear that. Yeah, he probably did run it. I ran a test while I was on the air. I don't know if he ran a test. I'm sure he's on it right now. Okay, so let me go over here. Let's do this. Change real quick. What is in box 4 here? Okay, and then let me change to a different picture right there. Cool, so let's go like this. That didn't work. Let's go like this. That did work. Okay, so I'm gonna step over to the desk. Hopefully you guys can see everything that you need to see. So let me turn the chair around like that. I'm gonna take my coffee with me. Here we go. It looks like we still have audio when I get away from the mic. So let's just talk real quickly about what I have here. Move my headphones out of the way. I have this little adapter that I'm going to be using, and I'm just going to get it out of the bag right now. I've already had it out once. It's lightning on one side and then right and left on the other side. What happened? Okay, let me go back to this view right here for right now, in case he tries to call again. And then, so this will be one choice to go from an iPhone or an iPad that has lightning. And then I also purchased this cable. This is RCA because the PreSonus StudioLive 32SC has RCA for like a tape machine, both in and out. And I found this cable online, so it has lightning on one end, 3.5 on one end, and USB-C. and then it goes to RCA. So this works. I used it yesterday. It's amazing. So that means that whoever brings me a device, if it's got USB-C hookup or it's got 3.5, or if it has Lightning, this one cable will do all. So I have it, and then I have a 1/4 inch option that goes to Lightning. I'll probably buy 2 more of these to have them in my bags just to make sure if I ever lose one. This is really important, especially when I go run sound for a venue here in the Tri-Cities. I don't use my sound. They need the other device so we can play music off of someone's Lightning iPad. So, okay, so I'll set these off. We'll unbox some of this stuff next week, but I also have a bag for my wireless, new wireless, and it is right here. We unboxed one of these already, so I'll be opening this up on camera and doing an unboxing video for my channel because I've already unboxed one that I bought for a client. So Thursday night we'll be using 2 of these because my client is at this coffee venue and I'll be bringing mine. So we'll have 2 wireless microphones that night. So we're not unboxing this tonight. And then this is a surge protector that I got. It's the PDU Power Strip Surge Protector, model number PC0850. It's by Pyle. And I purchased this about $50. I'm going to test it and see if it works. It's supposed to have conditioning, all that stuff in it. So we'll see how well it works. We might unbox this tonight. Then I bought some cords. They're already out of the box. There's some more cords underneath over here. But I also have this Proco. This is a Ethernet cable, so I'm going to be able to go digital snake now, and that's what we're going to unbox here in just a minute. We're going to unbox the digital snake from PreSonus, and we're also going to possibly hook this up tonight, so we'll see. So that's all ready to go. I have a knife to cut it. Again, that's how it came in the Amazon, or actually came from the Ted Brown here locally. So we'll set those down. Then I have, this is just a bag for cables because I need something to put my cables and miscellaneous in. So we'll get this out of the box right now, or out of the bag. And this is from Gator. It's Gator cases. This is the GK 16.10. I will put an Amazon link later tonight in the description. This is not in there now, but this has a pocket in the front. So it's like a little briefcase, so I can put cables in here, and then I can also put the smaller things, adapters and all that right here, and I'll end up having a couple bags, but I like to have a smaller bag when I'm not taking all of my equipment, maybe just a monitor somewhere, a couple monitors. So that is also one of the things I purchased. So we'll throw that down. Again, there's the back, and you can see how big it is. And it's got 2 handles, and it's got a strap right here. So if you want the shoulder strap, it's got it right here. And it was just tucked into the bag. So this is a nice little piece of equipment. Throw that under there. And then we are going to get the, any more calls coming in? Yeah, we are going to get the monitors stands out right now. So let me switch back to this other view. Super source, and let me walk back over here. So you should still be getting audio. I need to be a little shorter. Find a place to put my coffee here. So I have the Yamaha DHR that we're going to unbox here in a second. We also have the Presonus NSB 16.8, and that is a Stagebox, a digital Stagebox. But right now we're going to open up the OnStage SSP 7950. So they're in plastic, so we're going to open it up. I'm going to leave my lapel mic on. And here you go. So they're very beefy stands. I've had them before. You have the locking pin, which slides in once you bring this up, and it's 2 levels, so these can go pretty high. But you have the locking pin goes right in like this. So once you get the 15-inch speaker on there, it's really heavy. It's got a slot around here that stops the speaker. The 15s we're going to open here in just a second. They have 2 different holes. One's to tilt it down and one's to keep it straight up and down. So you have 2 levels. You can see right here, it says on stage. You have the top level, and then we have the bottom handle, which slides down. And so again, you only have 1 expansion level, but again, this can go up and down and give you a little bit of height. You can put a sandbag on it. So these are good sized stands. I'm going to go set one down right now. Oh. Whoa. So there it is. I have a 12-inch monitor on there. They also can be used for regular speakers. So we're going to put the 15 on the other side of the room. So we're going to open this up. Again, you have rubber feet on the bottom, very heavy duty, very substantial. Nothing wrong with these. Again, 2 handles. The handles are made of plastic, but this is all aluminum. This is plastic right here. Then you have bolts through here. So other than that, it's pretty beefy. So we're going to go set this one up in the other corner. So let's see. Do I have a 3rd camera? So we'll go like this for right now. Is it this one? No, we're going to go this one. That one, no, that one, that one. We'll go to that camera. Okay, so it's set up. Let's see, can we get a camera angle here? Yeah, you already saw that. So let's cut to the 5D Mark IV. And so there, I'm ready on both sides of the room. So we're gonna go back to Super Source here, and I'm going to unbox the 15-inch speaker. And so let's do that. Make sure I still have audio. It looks like it. A little hot. Check, check. Okay. Okay. Scissors are down. Inside the box, you have a cardboard cover. Again, we'll pull that out. Nothing in it. It just is a spacer. We're going to pull this out. Set it back here, out of our way. And it has this piece of cardboard over top. I think everybody can see that. And then you can see the speaker in here. It's got plastic on it. So there's plastic. And again, these are heavy speakers, so getting it out of the box is not easy. So what I thought I would do tonight is go ahead and destroy the box. Then on this side, it's stapled, so I'm just going to pull the staples. Oh. Okay. Fold the back off. Got more cardboard on the side. You guys can see that. All to keep the speaker from traveling. Now I'm going to take it out of the plastic. And I'm going to tilt this up so I can get the plastic out of it. There's cardboard in the bottom too. Here is the paperwork. So you have another giant Yamaha book. I already have one of those. We'll throw that down. And let me grab my mobile cam here. Okay. Here you go. See the plastic in the box. And then here's the back panel of this 15-inch speaker. So you have channel 1 and the power knob, RCA, again, wow, get my fingers out of the way, RCA right here. You have XLR right here. You have power input down on the bottom. You have your vents, you have your power switch. Then again, you have a 120 hertz and 100 hertz switch right there. Are we just not getting focus here? What is the deal? There we go. So that should be in focus, so you can take a look at that. Here's all your different lights, your limiter, signal, protection, and power switch has got X tuning built in for X, and you have the DSP, so you have DSP connections right here, and switches. And then again, you have the ability to choose if you want to go through or use the channel 2, and there's channel 2, and you can see the little schematic here. So you got 2 volume knobs, 2 channel in each speaker, and now we're going to get it out and look at it just a little closer. So there's a look at it in the box. Let's pull the fabric off, and not sure why we're on manual focus, but we are. There we go. So there's the speaker right there, and now I'm going to get it out. So we'll set this camera down. It's going to go black for a second. '15s are not light. In the box also is the power supply. So there is the power supply. Here's a look at the speaker out. Turn it around, let you guys see the grill here in a second. You got a handle on that side. And again, screws on both sides, a handle on that side. And then you have the metal grill on the front, and of course the Yamaha signal. So let's put this speaker up. And in the box you have that kind of cardboard packing to shape it and keep it in the center of the box. Okay, let's move this over. Wow. Should we put it in the right way? Okay. Let's see if I can lift this. This is the test, because I'll have to do this by myself when I'm traveling. There we go. Whew. I am powered speakers. They are fun, as you can see. So size comparison. Here am I. And we'll go look at the speaker. I think you guys can see this. Can I zoom out? Let's go wider camera angle here. So there you go, it's wider. There's the two holes on the bottom. Hopefully you can see that. The front one tilts up, you got rubber feet to protect the bottom of these. And then again, I have the straight up and down hole, and I've got the pin in right at that level. So we go at the back again. There's a look at those handles built in. It's a plywood cabinet. And then there's a look at the controls in the back. Back to the regular view. So we'll just scan down those again. Cool, so power cord goes right there. Open this up. More trash. Twisty tie. Little deals on the feet. Not the feet, but the plug-in. Power cord. I'm going to turn that around. Grab my coffee. We're going to come back around and do the digital snake. Whew. Very hot again. Okay. Very hot once again. We got for pictures. Make sure our cameras are still on. It looks like they're all on. Okay, so this, I did not unbox this, but I noticed today when I was moving it in here that it's not, it's basically open for us to see. So you have a couple different angles there right now. Let's move this over further. That should be good. So we're going to get this out of here. So inside you have your instructions. There we go. There's a look. Very thin little instructions that can go on the floor for now. And then you have this in foam on the top. Foam on the top. There's inside the box. And we'll set that down on the floor. So we'll get this digital snake out. And there you go. Switch back over to being a logo. So there is the 16.8 digital snake. Right here you have power, and I'll find power in the box here in a second, and the power switch. Then on this side, you have 2 Ethernet ports, and one is to go in and the other one is to go through. So you could daisy chain these, but keep in mind, if you don't buy the switch that PreSonus makes, then if you lose your first one, you could lose your second one as well. But the cool thing is you could get this up on the stage and then use this as a built-in switch to go to a drum set, another one that just is 8 inputs, which would be great. So you have Neutrix on the top all the way through the middle, so 16 channels, and then you have 1 through 8 of outputs, and this can be assigned. So what this does is gives you the other 16 channels in the StudioLive 32 SC. So you only have 16 inputs and 8 outputs on the back, plus a few other special outputs like the talkback mic and things like that. But now you have the ability to daisy chain another one, and then those 8 would have to be just assigned. So you wouldn't have more channels. You would if you had a 64 channel StudioLive, but I have 32 max channels. So if I'm not using all 8 of these and I want to assign this lower 8 clear on the other side of the stage, then I can get an 8 stage box and then assign it on the other side, and it can have outputs as well. So again, digital snake. Next week, we're going to be hooking this up and assigning the channels to the snake. We're going to be listening to both the 15-inch and the 12-inch monitors in the studio. And we're going to actually get into the board and play around with all this stuff. But there's the unboxing. There's the back. It is rack mountable. You can buy feet and mount this in a rack. And again, I like the fact that it has handles. So the input's right here. So you can literally set this on the back of the stage or set this on the ground. It's got raised feet built into the handles. So when you set this on the ground, you can see it's raised, which is great. So this becomes a stage box. It doesn't have to be rack mounted. And this is one of the reasons why this is under $1,000. I think it was under $800, and that's why I went with PreSonus, because you can get this. It does have phantom power built in. There's little phantom power lights here, so you can assign who has access to that phantom power. So I could have 2 PreSonus boards hooked up to a switch, and then I could assign the main stage monitors to have control of the preamps, or I could have control at the main desk at the front of the house. So you can actually assign who has access to the preamps and who doesn't. And again, I probably won't be using a lot of condenser mics in sound, like live music scenarios, but in recording, I will. So I could take this to a live venue, then use some condenser microphones, and that would be a blast to have this little device. So we have unboxed the speaker stands. We unboxed, and we're a bit sweating here. We unboxed the stands. We unboxed the 15 Yamaha, and we have unboxed the Stagebox, and there's still some things left to go that we will unbox next week. Obviously, I have another 15 in my garage. I have 2 more boxed up 12s in floor monitors in the garage. Everything else is in here. This box right here, this is available. This is Mike's. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I decided to buy these cables. Had great review on Amazon, and the links are in the description. The other ones I got were braided. These are not. So we're going to unbox this. You got a bunch of these little Velcro wraps. And then I have, these are color-coded cables. There's the box. And so here's a whole bunch of cables that will go in that bag. I'll pull one of these out. These are braided as well, but these have colored ends. I think these are 25 footers. And again, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll be buying more, 5, 6, and then I have 2 10-footers. So 6 25-footers, and then I have 2 10-footers. So we'll just see how that goes. I have other mic cables left over from my studio, so they're in the garage as well, but I wanted some specifically for this kit. So these will all go in that bag. So these go in the bag, and these will be used to hook up the speakers for next week's live. So they are going in the bag. And like I said, I'll have a couple of these bags. This will just be cords and miscellaneous. I like to separate things. I will label it so I know what's in here. Microphones will go in another case. And then microphone cables will go in another case. So this is just for hooking up speakers. So there are basically 8 cables that will go in this bag, as well as my smaller cables like we talked about tonight. They'll go in the zipper pocket. Okay, well, so I definitely unboxed some more stuff live on my channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know I haven't been dinking with the chat, but I will do that now. Chat on and just try to catch up here with the masses. So much plaid. What in the world is that? Let me switch something up here. What did I turn on? We go back to chat on the air here. Let's try that again. On chat. So much plaid. Like my shirts, most definitely. I'm into plaid colored shirts. Right now, I'm into pitted out plaid colored shirts. I don't think they have this many cameras in crash test. Thank you. Watch Keith bleed from 4 angles. Wow. Let's see if chat can make some jokes. Why did the YouTuber bring 2 microphones to the live stream? One for them and one for the force, of course. Wow. Buffering again. Yeah, I don't see any buffering now, but you probably did get some buffering. LOL. There's something meta about looking at speakers while my speakers cry. Okay. Freddie says, laugh out loud. The only thing we are missing is replay. NFL Sunday Ticket speaker unboxing. Well, I'm glad you're having fun. Out of breath. Yes, I was out of breath. Oh, audio fixed now. Yeah, I had both this microphone and the other microphone on. So rookie mistake. I've never live streamed before. If my arm goes numb, nope, my back is good. It's just I had to lift some pretty heavy speakers. I will find out what the weight is here in a minute. Okay. Ethercon, not Ethernet. Okay, I'll call it Ethercon. Ethercon. And that was on the back of the Stagebox. And this is, what does it say? 50-foot DuraCat Cat 6E solid NE8MC-NE8MC DuraCat. So this is a 50-footer. I'm going to order a 100-footer as well. Jeremy at Ted Brown says these are really good cables. They use this for all their installs. And so they had a 50-foot that they didn't use, so I was able to grab it. Normally they just order these for a job. They don't stock them. So it'll take me 2 weeks to get a 100-footer when I order it. So probably a couple of weeks. I don't have any live gigs yet. I have a practice gig slated just to get out and use the system, but I don't have any live paying gigs. So I will get the 100 pretty soon and add it to my kit. Okay. Let's continue to catch up with the chat before we wrap things up tonight. It's almost time to call it quits. So let me know. The reason I'm unboxing these live is because what is on my left forearm? Scar. This is that burn that I got a few weeks ago. It's that's what's left. It's going to be like that probably for the rest of my life. I reached over to grab some coffee out of the coffee pot, the Keurig, and all of a sudden steam shot out of my wife's little teapot. And it's never happened before. Made hundreds of cups of coffee. Speaking of coffee, mine's on the table, but I do have my drink tonight. Black tea with like sugar-free strawberry. No, blackberry, I think, is the flavoring that Shannon found yesterday. So whatever it's worth, I'm scarred for life. Not the only scar on my body. I have some from riding my motorcycle years ago. I have some from, I used to do some team roping when I was younger. At least I tried to learn. My next door neighbor's family was into rodeo, and they had team roping teams, both Corey and his father. And I learned how to rope. I learned how to ride a horse, and I did some training type runs trying to head a horse. I never did any healing. And so I had a burn years ago on my thumb, and there's scars on my thumb as well. I was melting the end of my rope because it was fraying, and I had it melting above my hand, and the wax dropped off and it burnt bad. That was a bad day. It hurt. So just kind of the look at things here real quick. Let's cut to camera one. So you can see the size comparison here. Let me bring this up now. So there's the 12 on the left and the 15 on, well, 15's on the left, the 12 is on the right, and the 12s can be a portable system as well. So if you wanted to just use two 12s, you could, and you could use a 15 on the floor as a monitor. So the 12s are great, and they sound great. So in a small room, because the tweeter is in the middle of the 12-inch speaker, so imagine the tweeter in the middle, 12-inch speaker, that makes it sound amazing. And so I will be using those for small venues, and I might bring a floor monitor. A 15-inch floor monitor would be pretty big. They can be set on the floor as well and not put on stands. I will be buying some subs. I just ran out of money. I took everything in my account and then some to buy what you see so far. And I want to get it working, and then I will be shopping for some subs. And those 15s really need 18-inch, at least one 18-inch sub, 2,000 watts really, because those are 1,000 watts a piece, and a 2,000 watt sub would work, or two 1,000 watt subs. And then you would have a different pole that you would use if you were going to use sub cabinets, because you just stick the pole in the sub cabinet and then the pole in the two-way speaker. Yamaha makes a three-way speaker as well. I looked at those, but I decided I wanted to go two-way with a sub. That's just going to be, in my opinion, sound amazing, and those 15s sound amazing as well. Now, I haven't heard them since I tested them in Ted Brown Music Store over in Kennewick, Washington, so I will be firing these up tomorrow. When I get back in town, I'm going up to meet the owner of that venue in Natchez, Washington tomorrow. That's the cafe venue. And we're going to do some small gatherings in the back of the cafe, but we also are going to look into a facility across the street, which would be some large indoor events. And then we're also talking about taking the tent up there to do an outdoor event. So we'll bring in some artists that I know. for a couple days in that area and just start creating some buzz up in Natchez, Washington, if it works out. So I did get called out by my good friend Wayne, who said, I heard you last week online say that you were going to take your sound equipment to Natchez. So I told him, yep, I did say that live last week. So I guess I'm taking my sound equipment to Natchez, Washington, because my good friend Wayne, who lives up there now, said I am. So, okay. Let's bring this to a wrap here tonight. I had a laugh at your pain, but you said her little teapot blew steam. Was it short and stout? Only Joe can find humor in everything I do and find my scars as well. Thank you, Joe. And no, it was just a regular teapot. It's not really short and it's not very stout, but it does blow steam right out. What kind of motorcycle did you ride? I had a Yamaha YZ125 and one of the first ever water-cooled with a mono shock. Yeah, that's right. I had a Honda older bike for a while, but then I traded it in for a brand new Yamaha 125. I'm really too big for a 125, I found out. So then I went to a YZ250. This is all back in the early 80s. And so I had one of the first Yamaha mono shocks. Tony, I hope that helps. Nat Cheese. Yeah, so here's the deal. Ratso, many of you know I have a pet named Ratso. He's been on my show before. He's been missing. So for some reason, summer, he just will disappear for periods of time. And so I'd love to have him on the show, but haven't seen him in a while. But he will love Nat Cheese, but he'll be calling it Rat Cheese, of course. So there's the humor for the night. I will be here again next Tuesday, if that was funny. Hopefully, one time in my life, I can knock Joe to the floor. So we will be unboxing and have in here a wireless microphone next week. We're going to have the bag opened up next week. I'm going to have the 215s in the studio. I'm going to have at least 2 of the 12s in the studio floor monitors. I'm going to have some music ready. I already have a Beta 58 ready to go, sure. And I'm going to have a wireless microphone. I might have a guest. We'll see. With guitar, we'll see how things go. And so we will be testing this next week. Going to have a condenser microphone hooked up in the studio to give you a little bit better quality sound in the room. And so you'll be able to hear the speakers. It's going to probably only be mono, but you'll get a chance to hear what they sound like as well as I can in a live stream. So, okay, well, if you have any final things, let me know. We will wrap things up tonight. That's all I have. We looked at the Rode new wireless Pro microphone. I don't have one, but we looked at the website. Links are in the description. There's Amazon associate links down. Please hit the like. I really need your help to help continue to build the channel. My plan next week didn't work out this week, but my plan Thursday and Friday, Monday and next Wednesday is to do some recording. I'm going to do some basic getting started with the PreSonus board on the StudioLive, because you do have to update the firmware. You do have to get it hooked up with your computer. So it starts talking to Studio One. You get a free version of Studio One Artist if you want it. And we'll look at the other software and how to record directly to it. And then we're going to look at the speakers a little closer, look at the wireless microphone, and then we'll look at the Stagebox next week, and we'll hook it all up live. So you're going to see how you go into the StudioLive 32SC and you assign those other 16 channels and those other 8 outs to the Ethernet port. And actually, StudioLive has its own name for their codec or whatever you call it, the communication through Ethernet 6. So I'm putting all Cat 6E in with what I'm doing as far as how I hook it up in the studio, because it is networked right now. so I can see it on my network. And then I have USB coming into my PC. Let me show you guys that real quick. Bring that monitor around. Let's go back to channel 4. So I have USB-C coming in right now, right there, going to the Presonus board, coming in right there. I have the microphone hooked into channel 3, and that's all I have fired up right now. So 3 has got EQ on, and it's assigned to analog, you can see up there. But I could easily switch that to network if I wanted to. You can see now channel 3 has been assigned to network, now back to analog. So I love that ability to just do quick assigning. So any channel that's selected, I can choose USB, or I can pop it over to analog, or I can pop it over to the network if I need to. So again, that would be for accessing it through the network. So very quickly, very quick and easy to use. And that's one of the things really caught my eye about the StudioLive 32 SC. So, okay, last chance to say anything. Love you too, Joe. You're hilarious. I miss this side of you. What, the funny side, the ratso side? I'm sorry. Do you not ride anymore? No, I don't. I wish I did, Tony. Actually, to be honest, if I wasn't buying equipment, like for instance, about a year or two or so ago, when I was thinking about doing my live stream, I had that money that I was going to spend in the studio to set all this up. My wife's live, my live stream, but her podcast. So that meant buying the first Rodecaster Pro 4 microphones, because we thought we would have up to 4 guests, and we did. My wife is a midwife, and we felt like if we could record some of the conversations, it would help the young moms, right? Because they forget things, so they could tune into the podcast to remember certain things that my wife wanted them to learn. So that was kind of the focus of the podcast, to help women out there who want to do home birth and have a midwife. And so purchased that stuff, then started doing my live stream, purchased extra cameras. So all of my motorcycle money went to my studio. So, and this is the 3rd studio I've built. This one, I just took over a room. I haven't really treated the walls, but the last 2 studios were complete teardowns and rebuilds and expansions. So my recording studio was 700 square feet, had a control room and had a recording room, and that was built inside my house. So tore out all the sheetrock on the roof, added in 12-inch studs instead of 2x4s, insulation in every wall, double layers of sheetrock with hat channel, isolation brackets in the ceiling and the floor. So it brought the ceiling down, kind of claustrophobic. But then I did the upstairs room. That was a smaller room, a little bit bigger than this room. And then I took all the sheetrock off again and did the same thing in there. I did not do that in this house. The wall over here between the 2 rooms has fiberboard in the wall, then green glue and sheetrock. But no isolation brackets, no hat channel. And then this wall has R30 because an exterior wall. That wall has R30 because it's an exterior wall. So pretty good room. Nothing above me. So there's insulation in the ceiling above me. But the difference between this sheetrock and my sheetrock, this sheetrock has more of a bright sound. If I was knocking on my other walls in my studio, the frequencies were way lower in the spectrum. So again, you treat that room differently than this room because a lot of the bright frequencies are coming off that wall, or if anything gets dropped or hit, that wall literally resounds differently. Believe it or not, the frequency that you hear when you tap on it is the same thing as happening when sound waves hit the wall. So it's quite interesting how you isolate sound when you are doing that. So yeah, get Beta 58s. They're great microphones. Thank you. You have even a cooler soundboard. You have the Allen and Heath SQ5, which is an amazing, amazing board. And that's, again, the one I wanted. But I have history. We'll close with this. I have history using a PreSonus board, and I have history recording from a PreSonus board. I would like to have 96 kilohertz recording, but anytime you would switch over to 96 kilohertz, you usually lost part of your channels. So I'm just going to do 48, 44.1. That's what I can do through the StudioLive 32 SC, and that should be great because that's how you mix a CD anyway. Back in the days that we did CDs, they were 44.1 megahertz, and then you could do different size files, bit rates. But again, I'm getting back into it. I'm going to be firing back up some of my my plugins, and it's going to be interesting to see how this new journey is going to go. So live sound with recording, coming back in the studio, doing some mixing. And I think my skill sets in that series of time in my life, this new series of time in my life, doing content, doing video production, all of that, honing those skills, live streaming tech, and then going back and adding live audio with all the updates and better sounding stuff. I will be broke for a while, but hopefully I'll have more diversity in my business as I get closer and closer to retirement. I can pick and choose what I want to do. And again, it's getting out with people that's driven a lot of why I'm doing live sound. And I got to go with my friend Chris. I'll close with this. He does DJing at weddings. And so he just did one on Friday night rehearsal, and then Saturday wedding. I went over for Friday night and hung out with him just to see him using his sound, just to get my feet wet again in live sound setup, working with people. I followed him around when he talked to the bride, the bride's mom, the bride's dad. I helped him set up his speakers. I ran cables with a friend of mine who I'm also connecting with. He runs live sound for his small little venue. And so the two of us went out and hung out with Chris Parker, who I've known since my early years in the 80s. So love it. He's a guitar player and also a DJ, and it was fun to just hang out with him and see what it was like to do that stuff again, because it's been many years since I've done live venues. Now, I did a couple big events in 2011, I think, and 12 in the local park, and that was the last time that I did outdoor venues with sound. Did two weddings in my backyard, in my other house, and then obviously I had my QSCs playing so the band could hear their tape recordings back in my main recording room, because I was behind glass in the other room, and I would use my JBL monitors in there. So a lot of similarities to how you would record in a studio, and it'd be a lot easier now with the digital snakes, because you could easily then run a single Cat 6 cable to each room, and you'd be ready to go and record. You could send audio there and bring audio back. So that was not really readily available at all when I built my studio, started building it back in 2009. And actually earlier than that, I was recording in my den just inside my front door. And then we tore those walls out, tore the garage out, built a new garage, and built a whole studio inside. So if you guys are interested in seeing that studio behind the scenes footage from back in those days, let me know. But until then, what is the fat channel? Again, the fat channel is this little area right here. And you can see all the options available. And so once you choose a channel, then you're controlling it, all of those things. So you have all of those controls. Man, I wish I had my other mic on. Let's switch. Should have my lapel mic on now. So again, I can choose USB, SD card. I can go analog or network. I can change the phase. I can do copying and pasting here. I can do linking subgroups. Then I have a input gain stage right here for whatever channel I select. So if I'm on channel 2, like I am right now, then the gain would be adjusted right here, and I'd see input gain right here. So you can see I have a signal coming into channel 3. So if I switch over to channel 3, then you can see that this microphone is giving me gain because it is my Beta 58. You guys can't hear it, but you can see the signal. You can see the gain right here, so we know I'm getting it. I'm not peaking, so I could bring those levels up higher, and that would be showing up right there and right there. And then you can see the EQ adjustment right there. So I can turn the EQ on and off. So if I want the different devices on, then I've got to turn them on right there, the processor. So quite a cool little fat channel. You can see it's called fat channel right there. Back to me and a logo. So that was the gain on this microphone because I started playing with this for the very first time yesterday, and it's not exactly like my old PreSonus board, but very similar. So, okay, I'm tired. I'm going to go have some dinner. I'm going to chill out. I got a drive tomorrow. I'm going to take some footage and hopefully get a chance to go in and look at that new venue that's being remodeled. It's owned by the guy who owns a tavern. He's selling his tavern. I guess he's going to move his business into this rental. So we're going to talk to him. I may book a bunch of dates up in that cheese, in that building, and link up with the coffee shop across the way so people could get coffee and then come to the venue, and it will be it's catty corner right across the street. So I'll bring pictures next week and show that to you. So, okay. That's people used to call on my channel. Laugh out loud, Joe. Despite the signal problems, I enjoyed the unboxing. Thank you, Freddie. Tape, what's that? Yeah, I get it. Tape channel. Remember cassette tapes? Remember in the day? They still call it tape on the StudioLive board. I'm glad you enjoyed the unboxing, Joe, and the rest of you. I don't know who's still here, but please hit the like button. Please use the links and help support the channel. I appreciate it very much. Those are Amazon associate links. I'll add more there. We'll unbox a few more things next week, but next week's live stream, unless something new else gets announced like the Rode Wireless Pro microphone kit, we will be focusing in on live, hooking up 2 mains, hooking up at least 2 monitors. We're going to do a main mix. We're going to do a monitor mix. We're going to talk about how you can use the user profile. We're going to set up a digital snake all live next week. So it should be fun. I hope you'll join me. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. And let me do this again. Signal problems, that didn't go up there. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you, Joe. Again, Joe. Thank you, Tony. I will show you that footage then next week. We're going to enjoy the fat cheese tomorrow. Rat cheese. Caddy corner. Yeah. Something they say back east. Caddy corner. That's across the street and whatever. I can't even figure it out. Thanks, David. Appreciate you being here tonight. Have a good night. Thank you, Hank. You have a good night as well. Again, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I will get some more videos up on the channel very, very soon. Until next week, I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and we'll see you guys on the other side.